Hi, you guys. Leanne Holitza here at the Healing Studio. How are you all on this Sunday? I am seeing the Me Pleases coming in from YouTube, which is normal. I normally see those first. They come up. YouTube is the trick, right? It lets you get on early. So if you're coming in from Facebook or anywhere else, you're going to kind of be down further on the list. I'm going to use Kali Moth Amanda Ellis spray today, Warrior Goddess, Liberation and Rebirth. And then I'm also using this Galena. So this is a nice little shiny, look at this guy. Really heavy, grounded, but kind of like grounded optimism kind of energy from this one. So Galena, we have a lot of this at the Healing Studio right now. So if you will need to pick yourself up some, it's affordable and really super grounding. All right, let's see. A couple more announcements. The full moon event is on its way. It's October 18th. This is like a little party if you're local. So, and then we're going to also we have our Reiki share. We're coming up on the end of the year, which means we're going to have some things like the live light council, the guide group. Crystal's going to be here doing animal communication mini sessions in November. So if you want to do a session of that. And then starting in January is my self-healing 101 class. And that class is hybrid. You can take that whether you are local or virtual, because it's just if the time zone will work for you, because we kind of have people in person and people out there. Actually, I think today might be the close to the last day of the early bird pricing. So if you're thinking about doing that one, I would do it. Okay. So let's go ahead and just get started here. So first we're going to do the week's cards. Oh, I'm not on top of it. I have to go get the yantra deck. It's over here on the other side of the room. Okay, yantra deck for our weekly reading. And then we'll build on that. Okay, so this is the first part. Okay, first card is surrender. Okay, so this card is basically saying at the beginning of the week, some things need to be allowed, let go. I'm getting a lot of cards of like let go, let the change happen, kind of like tower energy if you were looking at tarot. This card is very much an action of surrender is being required. So doing things to literally say, that's not mine. I'm going to let that go. Helper card for the week. Be content with what you have. Recognize the illusion of greener pastures. Nobody has it any better than you. No one has it any worse, kind of thing. As far as especially when it comes to energy and manifesting, your life is your life. So that is the helper card. And then ending the week with some kindness. So really acting out of love and compassion and being able to be as grounded as you can in that kindness. Okay, so building on from there, we are going to use today for personal readings, the Shaman's Dream. If you haven't played before, I'm going to put up a little banner. Type me please for a card and you'll get your own personal card in our time that we have together. But this is the start of your personal reading. Whether you're watching later or you're watching now, 1, 2, 3 is what I want you to sink into. Okay. So is it your card to do 1, 2, or 3? Okay. So just really feel into your heart. This is your first card. Okay. If you picked 1, this focus this week is horned cactus. Being resourceful. It's not always going to be raining in the desert, right? But the cactus hones its ability to have the resources it needs in the time periods of, in between. So this is kind of like really notice what resources you have and really kind of use them wisely this week. If you picked 2, you're working with the dust devil energy. Okay. So like I said, I'm feeling big change. So moving out of stagnation. Okay. So if where something's moving, something's coming out, that kind of thing. And if you picked 3, you're going to just have some joyful muse and inspiration this week. Okay. So don't take anything seriously. If you picked 3, just play this week. Okay. Remember contentment. Recognize the illusion of greener pastures. All right, let's get going here. So just as a hello down to the bottom of the list, and you guys are coming in, they're going to come in at the bottom of the list if you're coming in from Facebook, because YouTube lets people do it earlier. So hi, Kim. Hi, Natalie. Hi, Gina, Trang. I'm coming to you guys. I see you. I promise. Just kind of be patient here. Gina. So now this is the other thing. On the screen right here is your name that's going to pop up. So just pay attention when I say, because we might have more than one Gina or whatever. Okay. Gina, for you this week, you're going to work on jeweled web and connectivity. Everything is connected. And just kind of notice your network. Expand your ability to really think of how your network works. Go a little bit bigger than just normally, oh, this person used to work with me here, blah, blah, blah. Like all connected, all the influence that you have on the web, even when you don't even know it. So like, for example, let's say I tell you that I don't think we should be eating chicken right now. And I say it with a lot of authority, right? None of us should be eating chicken. You guys may hear that and take it back to your houses and your homes and the people around you and say, oh, Leanne says we shouldn't be eating chicken. So that's kind of what this is. The jeweled web is just be really intentional with your influence. Okay. All right. I'm not really saying anything about chicken, by the way. Nicole, you're going to be working this week with the wall. Okay. So you got some obstacles. And I like to tell people the wall is telling you this is not the door. Okay. So the wall is actually holding the door up, and it's good information but you're not at the door yet. Feel along the obstacles. Don't get discouraged. Okay. The obstacles are helping you understand something. Addison, you're going to be working with the dust devil energy. So if you pick two, you picked this. This is doubling down for you. This is moving out of stagnation. Big change for you this week. Okay. That's the second time we've seen that card, you guys. And I am feeling in the cards, in the energies, this week might be a big change week for all of us. So if we see that card the third time, that's going to be our start of our theme. So that's the thing too. If you listen to these messages and they resonate with you, even if it's not your card, it probably is for you. And once we start to get through here, we'll start to see cards over and over. And that when we see them 3 times or more, they're for all of us. Okay. All right. Denise. Well, second time we've seen the jeweled web. So same thing I said to Gina. Look at your influences. Look at what's influencing you. Notice if you like the networks that you're building. And if you do, maybe nurture them some more. But again, that recognizing the illusion of greener pastures, you're not waiting for something to come to your web. The web is going to naturally attract whatever you need. Okay. Heidi, you're working in the winter's dream. Okay. So this is gestation period. Don't necessarily make any choices this week. Go slow. Let things show themselves. Sometimes when we're really working through something, actually just being super present and super mindful is where we're going to make the clearest decisions. Okay. Courtney, you're working with the spirit of the river. So movement towards adventure. Okay. So this card is just basically saying this week is a good week to flow with your emotions, be playful, notice where your opportunities come to be spontaneous, and just go with the flow this week. Okay. Oof. All right. Katie, burnout proof leaders. You're working on Feast of Plenty. Choices and their consequences. Okay. So this is a message of kind of similar to the jeweled web message of like, when we make decisions, that sends out a ripple. It has influence over our life. And if we want to start drawing from our bank accounts, okay, like our energetic wish lists, sometimes we have to pause and not keep doing, but just be for a minute and let things start to arrive. Okay. So this week, that's what I think you're working on. Cynthia, you're working on Dragon's Hoard, protecting the future. Okay. So this card really is very much about like legacy, understanding when we think mindfully about what we're putting out there, not just thinking about us and right now, but the whole big picture. So this week for you, it's a good future planning, strategizing week. Okay. Jenny and Jared. Jenny, you got overflow, okay? Overwhelm and plenty. You got plenty to do this week. You got plenty of things going on. This week, it's kind of acknowledging that maybe you need to let a little bit of the steam out, let a little bit of the excess go, just so that you can have some time to be still. Okay, so there's going to be a lot for you this week. It's not necessarily bad. It's just a lot, and sometimes we hang on to the wrong things. So just kind of pay attention to letting go of the things that aren't really serving you. Jared, you've got fallen angel, spiritual narcolepsy. Okay, so this is basically like, wake up. The world is not necessarily as it keeps trying to tell you it is. This is a big illusion. There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of truths hidden right under your nose that aren't being told to you. So this week it's kind of noticed, like the bigger spiritual truth I am a divine person. I deserve to be connected to, original sources. I can be that person. I don't have to earn it, if that makes sense. So that's what you're working on this week. Waking up. Tiff, you got a benefactor card today. Look at these little mice. Okay, grace and generosity. Okay, so who can you partner with? Who can you share your joy with? Who can be the beneficiary of your abundance? It's kind of like, it's way more fun to share with other people. So this week for you, if you can find people to share with, that would be ideal. Kelly and Matthew. Kelly, you're on an unmarked trail at the moment, but you have a revelation by being on the unmarked trail. When you go where you've never gone, there's new things to be found, right? If you always go the same route to work, you're always going to see the same things for the most part, right? So this is like taking a different path, noticing that that's going to give you some new information, okay? So try to do things a little different than you would normally this week. Matthew, you're working with being drifter, experience life as it comes. So this is actually almost a complete opposite from Kelly. So this is like, let life take you. Your sails are up. The wind is blowing. It may not feel like you're going always in the direction you intend to, but that's how life works. Sometimes it takes us here to get us there, and sometimes it's not a straight line. Okay, so this week, just try and surrender a little bit more to what is coming. Okay, Robin, joyful muse. Okay, second time we've seen this. If you picked 3 at the beginning, it's doubling down. This is a week of just having fun. Get inspired, be inspiring, give yourself a moment to just really acknowledge that you have all that you need around you. And what does that mean then when you are trying to play? Okay, Jordan, for you, you're working with the stars in the sky, limitless possibilities. Okay. So sometimes we have too many choices. Sometimes it feels like, oh my gosh, I can do anything. And you really can. There really are unlimited choices. And this week, kind of reach past what you would normally think and do something a little bit different and just see more opportunities than maybe you have before. Okay. Chris, second time we've seen fallen angel, spiritual narcolepsy. Wake up. Be careful, you guys. This is a really good time for us to be paying close attention to everything that's going on right now and having our own opinions and our own discernment. That spiritual narcolepsy is warning us that we might have forgotten about the divine nature of this grand bodily experience. Okay. All right. It's kind of a warning, basically. CC, you're working with the moon maiden and new beginnings. Okay. So moon maiden energy is like, letting things be born, letting things come from creativity, letting the feminine energy go, a little bit more too. It's just for you. It's not necessarily for everybody else. You can have fun just for you. Okay. All right. Kimberly, your focus this week is going to be lost compass. Okay, so get back into integrity. You might have gotten off track a little bit. And this week, really check in with your whys, check into, am I doing what I really want to do? When I spend my precious life force energy, am I spending it in a way that actually builds the world and myself up? Or am I just draining myself? Give yourself the opportunity to acknowledge that you might be a little lost and that this week you're looking into that. Okay. Juan Carlos, you are working with the right use of power. Okay. So crown great games and really being careful with that crown chakra, your influence on others. That's a message I'm getting over and over too, you guys, is everybody being careful with your influence on each other. It's really critical right now that we understand we're not just influencing the people we're talking to directly. They go home and they tell their loved ones and so on and so forth. Okay. All right. Elizabeth, you're going to focus with deep diver, diving into a task, really getting focused. Okay. Go deeper than you maybe would assume that you need to go. Okay. So there's stuff to keep looking into. It's in particular, I think, uncovering and don't making assumptions. Ask lots more questions than you're asking this week. Okay. All right. Kimberly, You're working with the eyes of the eagle and rising above the fray. Okay. So, really having that bird's eye view, really having that discernment of like, I don't have to be in it. There's a lot going on over there, but that's not me. I can fly above it and just kind of see a little bit more clearly. And I don't have to explain what I see either. I can just see it and it could just be just for me. Okay. Carrie, you got two cards. Okay. You got the wailing tree, reconciliations. Okay. So, really, especially reconciling with yourself and really letting those emotions just be flowing. Okay. And then you've also got the drifter card, which is experience life as it comes. So, try and let your sorrow and your grief come out this week and process it as best you can. Find safe spaces to do that. And also just kind of go with the flow and know you're not off track. Okay. Sam, you are working with repairing the veil. So this is some forgiveness energy. Okay, so this is really about giving yourself the opportunity to see, why did that really happen? Maybe there were some soul contracts there. Maybe it's good for me to see this in a different perspective or a different light. So this week, just working on focusing on forgiveness. Okay, Catherine, you got some me talks. Okay, repair the body, mind, and spirit. So focus on yourself. I think you got this before. It's really driving you down to focusing on you, your me, myself, and I kind of thing. Okay. So whatever that means, however you can get away from the toxic influences that have been there. Okay. Hillary, you're deep diving too. Okay. Sorry. You are deep diving into a task. That means that you're being asked to ask more questions. You be focused. Give yourself the opportunity to also recognize that when you do that, you might find that there's some heavy emotions that haven't been processed, that are ready to process now. And it's okay. Give that an opportunity to get out too. Okay. Griffin is going to work on the eye of the needle and being intentional. Okay. So really threading where you're looking, what you're doing, that's going to create intention and that's going to thread the needle that you're sewing your life with. Okay. So this week, really be intentional wherever you can. Birdie is going to focus on in the hand. The universe is your partner. Surrender to the universe. It is going to do what it needs to do for you. You don't have to do it all yourself. I know it's a shocking message. You don't have to do it all yourself. I get that message all the time too. All right, Lisa, for you, focus this week on your repairing the veil. Okay, so the forgiveness energy, especially around soul contracts and recognizing that people were sometimes placed there to break you up or to shake you up and get you noticing something. Okay. Janice, focus this week for you is on first breath. Okay, so beginner's mind, start as if you've never done it before, even if you've done it a million times. Do it a little bit differently, get a little bit more intentional, use a different pin. Give yourself an opportunity to really have a beginner's mind this month or this week. Miranda, you're going to work in the winter's dream. Second time we've seen that one. Gestation period. Whatever's baking is already in the oven. Stop opening the door. You're going to make it fall. So just give yourself the opportunity to let things gestate this week. Go slow. Take care of yourself. Give yourself a little rest. Janelle, you got the whale song. Okay. So this is you resonating with the world. This is you resonating with the water, resonating with your life, and really noticing that your life is singing at you all the time. And what is it telling you? And so this week, really paying attention to that. You might even actually go listen to some whale noises just to see if that inspires you. Okay. I think that I watched the news last night, saw the smoke forecast, and that's really, now it's stirring it all up. Donnie, you're going to work on me talks too. Okay, so repair your body, mind, and spirit. Come back to yourself. Take some time by yourself. Give yourself an opportunity to recognize where you might have been stuck in a little bit of codependency. And now it's time for you to just focus on you. Okay? Kalina, I shuffled third time's a charm, you guys. We got the me talks again. All right, so I'm going to pull the book out because this has come up now that it's come basically back to back. Even in the shuffling, it's like we need to hear something from this message. All of us do. Okay, so ready? It appears as a warning that you can no longer postpone the self-care and pampering you long for. Time is now. Do healthy maintenance on your body before you have to make repairs that you will never quite recover from. Me Talks has come to caution you that it is not too late, but you are at the 11th hour. Do not deprive yourself of the health that you deserve. Okay. So focus on your own health this week, everybody. But Kalina and Donnie in particular, definitely listen to your health. Okay. Blossoming Lotus, you're working with the whale song. So same as Janelle there. This is given, or Janice. Well, no, it was Janelle. Okay, whatever. I just keep track of everybody, right? Whale song. Resonate with water, resonate with what's around you. Notice what your life is bringing to you as messengers that really are about a bigger picture. Okay. Shannon, for you, focusing this week on the straddling worlds, wandering between realms. Okay. So, like, the 3D, the 5D, like the woo woo, the normal, those things, kind of feeling like you're kind of trying to bridge some awareness or understanding this week. Okay. Christy, you're working with deep quiet. So, meditation and stillness, really being with your own feelings this week. Let your mind come to a standstill if you can, often, so that you can actually hear what you're feeling. Okay. Kira, you're focusing on the dream thief, refusal of the call. So this is like, have tos and shoulds and getting yourself really bogged down with what you think are expected of you versus what you really want to do. So be watching out for that this week. Finn, you are going to be using your bird's eye view, eye on the eagle, rising above the fray. You're able to see the bigger picture. Again, you do not have to tell anybody that you're seeing that picture. You just can see it and just be aware of it. It's information just for you. Okay. Step back. Eli, you're working on the eye of the needle intentionality. So be very intentional this week. Be sure to know why you're doing what you're doing. Don't go asleep and be unconscious about your actions this week. Okay. All right. And Taryn, you are working with the hollow bone. Okay. So teachability. So big time of learning for you this week. So be really open and teachable. Be really able to notice what else is kind of revealing itself, if that makes sense. It's a good learning week for you. Natalie, you're working with the gathering around the power of community. Okay. So find your friends, find the people that want to support you, find the people who understand your point of view. Maybe they don't share it. Maybe it's a different point of view, but they're still like, I see you, I get you, I support you. That's going to be real important this week for you. Stephanie, hollow bone for you too. Be teachable. Be open, recognize that there's ancient wisdom that wants to wake up all around us and that there's kind of been forgotten. This week's a good week to kind of just notice it unfolding. Francis, crown games, right use of power. So careful what you do with your crown chakra this week. Careful who you let influence you. Careful where your mind goes. The outer higher energies that want to come in, don't bog them down with the short distance stuff. Go bigger and further. Okay. Trang, you're working with, look at Garden of Venues, rest and renewal. That's a pretty card. So time for you to just rest this week. Remember, we got the message for all of us, like that we need to focus on our health. So focus on resting, focus on taking good care of yourself the best you can. I know you work very hard. You can just, Gina, you're working with skywriting. Okay. So the fates, what's in your fates? What are you noticing? This might be a good week for you to draw cards yourself every single day, just to see what maybe is the focus. Okay. Give yourself some extra inspiration. Okay. Natalie, you're working with the woodwives and adaptability. So this energy is basically like, just start adapting to what's going on. Just notice how flexible. Notice too how much brain power it takes to when you're in like novelty where everything's new all the time. Like just really being in that adaptability space and letting yourself notice. Kind of like the tree that can bend with the wind and can take the heavy snow and can take, the leaves coming and the animals perching and all the things. You can handle it all. Okay. Maybe don't want to handle it all, but you can. Okay, third time's the charm for this one. Kim, you brought crown games, right? Use of power for us. All right, so let's look into it real quick. I mean, this is the time for this message, I'm telling you. Ask for guidance. It will come when you choose compassion over your own goals and desires. When you stop caring about who wears the crown, true success and influence appear for you. True power is stewarded wisely and is given from the divine, not the ego. In all your relations, the greatest beauty is when power is shared. You are the higher position to even more important to be kind and respectful. Okay, so take care of your health and use your influence well. Give your little influencia a hug. Cameron, here we go. Ready? Cameron, you brought third time's the charm of the eye of the needle. Okay, so intentionality, you guys. Here's the message for all of us. Listen carefully. The eye of the needle looks so tiny, but once your intention threads it, a vast opportunity is presented on the other side. The needle can mend, can sew things together to make something meaningful and new. You're experiencing success right now. Stay true to your desires, to the work you need to accomplish. So you are laser focused on the experience of creating and manifesting. The outcome is assured in the divine forces. Woohoo! Okay, everybody, lots of intention this week. Maybe even start the day out writing in your planners or journals or whatever. My intention today is blah, and then see how that drives your actions. Hannah. Okay, I knew this card was going to come 3 times at some point. Dust Devil, third time's a charm. Major time of change, right use of power, be intentional. Stop asking for things to be perfect. Awkward, messy, conflicted, exuberant, and wild is how you shift. Trust this process. Dust Devil knows what you need when you need it. Once things settle, you will see the gleaming jewels awaiting your discovery. The wisdom awarding integration. Okay? Woohoo! Big changes. I felt that. I feel it, you guys. I feel it. I feel like I've been saying all year, like, oh, it's lots of things changing or lots of big energies, but this week feels like change. Isabella, you've got the farther gate, bold step forward. Okay. So keep going. Know that there's not necessarily an end here yet. This week is not an end. This week is continuing to process and walk forward. Okay. So don't lose sight of the further goal. Sarah and Emily. Sarah, you are going to be working with the spirit of the river. Movement towards adventure, okay? Flow, fun, let yourself be in your emotions, be joyful, be optimistic, all the things, okay? This week is good for you to just let the river have the solid boundaries too. I'm seeing solid boundaries that makes the river flow strong, okay? Okay. Emily, deep quiet, meditation and stillness. Something big is happening for you right now, and you can't hear it if you're constantly busy running. I know it might be feeling like a busy time of life, but do be taking some peaceful, quiet time this week, okay? Crystal. Third time's a charm for this one. Kind of interesting. Gestation, winter's dream, on top of be intentional and let change happen. Okay, here we go. Winter's dream can lull you into slumber where you can lose consciousness and become caught in a nightmare. Awaken. Find that easy return to wakefulness that brings you clarity. This is the time to set your priorities in order and not act on any of them yet. Allow the clarity and transparency that comes with the winter's dream to permeate your heart and soul. The time for action will come later. Remember that all things are born of dreams, and your task is to wake up within the dream to lucidly guide it to your chosen destination. Okay, so I think, it's still the same message as that dust devil. It's like there's a lot of dust in the air. Like you can't really do a lot when the dust is in the way. Genevieve, you're going to be working on beloved radical acceptance. Accept yourself, accept everyone else. Just be in love this week. That's all that is saying. Isabel, third time's the charm for the deep quiet, meditation and stillness, you guys. Taking some time when it is dust devil time and when the big changes are happening, try and sit in the stillness where it is only inside of you sometimes. Maybe all around you is crazy. Okay, ready? After you have said yes to the invitation, you will find that you and the world get along quite well without the need for you to manage it. You will enjoy the freedom that comes with stillness, the clarity of spaciousness offered by silence. Okay, so find some silence this week, Isabel, and everybody, because it's third time's a charm. Sabine, there's time. We made it. I'll get to all of you guys. I see you, Rena, too, so I'm coming. Oh, third time's a charm on the eyes of the eagle. Rise above the fray. So lots of big change, lots of things going on. Don't get sucked in. Be aware that you got things happening that are a little bit more Chaotic than you'd like. Okay, here we go. Ready? Trust that you're ready for whatever fortune has placed before you, even if you're not feeling properly equipped to meet the challenges. Your willingness to say yes to spirit has nothing to do with how well outfitted you are. Hesitating, on the other hand, will suck the air from under your wings and make you lose altitude. You are called now to trust your heart and your instincts, to move fearlessly and not waver. The time is right, and no harm can come your way if your motives are pure and act courageously. So, okay, lots of change, chaos, be intentional, get up high and see the big picture, that kind of stuff. Rena, you're going to be working on the unmarked trail. Second time we've seen this one. This is just really like take a different way home kind of thing. It's like give yourself a chance to see things differently, to go do something different than you've done before, because that is where you might find the magic. The miracles are happening. Okay, we have made it to the end. Thank you all for hanging out. I'll see you next Sunday. I'm going to throw one more card for my husband, who sometimes watches from the grocery store. Thanks for doing the grocery shopping. Okay, so for him, he's got the wall. Obstacles. Okay, so you're going to have some obstacles. The obstacles are holding the door for you. So just go along the wall. It's not for you. It's not for you until it is for you. Okay? All right, you guys, trust the process and go be amazing. See you next week.